What's up, everybody? Once again, it is I, James, coming to you from the Nerdy Musings podcast studio. And once again, I am joined by veteran inker Marc Deering. How you doing today, Marc?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And the audience may be confused as to why I said once again. But this is
'Cause-
like our third time doing this now, even though the other ones have not been made public.
Yep. Yep. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bummed that Ink Pulp got to you first, technically, but, you
It's
know,
okay. We're
it's,
all in this
it's,
kind of
we're
thing
all in the,
together.
I got to give those guys a hard time because I love those guys. I
Yeah.
love what they do over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Jim Mafood on recently, and Sean's going to be coming on, and Mateo, and I had Canetti on. So much love for what the Ink Pulp guys do, and they've been bringing on some legends, man, including yourself. I put you in that category. You've been inking for a long time, dude.
Yeah. Long time. I have been rebuilding my own personal website here the last couple weeks, and I had to do math, and I think it's 22 years
Wow.
since my first real, paying gig.
Yeah.
So the last time I messed with my own site, it was 18 or 19 or something like that. So I had to redo it, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, how long has it been? And
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a
It's
while.
it's funny when we do that. It gives you that perspective because I just recently had to do that for my bio on my the website for my jujitsu school, and I'm
Yep.
like, oh man, I've been doing jujitsu for 30 years this year. That's crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, Marc,
Yeah.
what led you to becoming an inker? Did you start as a penciler? Were you wanting to explore that avenue of comics? Take us back to the beginning and how all this started for you.
Really, how it started was I was in the Army from 93 to 99. There was an issue of Wizard magazine that came out, and it really broke down and explained what each person does in the credits of a comic.
Yeah.
Um, I'd been a huge fan of comics for a very long time, even before that, and wanted to break in. I was drawing my butt off all the time, but I didn't have a clear path of how to get there. This is for anyone listening. You can tell by the gray hair, this is way before the internet. This is way before all that stuff and how accessible everyone is today via social media and all that stuff. This is before that. It didn't exist.
Yeah.
And that article led me down the path of becoming an inker. As ridiculous as it does sound, I think back then I thought that might be an easier way to get in. I was wrong. But yeah, that's what started it. And from there, I was able to get samples, attend conventions, and really start figuring out how to get in. And then I believe it was 2003, I got an email out of the blue from Avatar Press to ink an issue of something
Oh,
as
wow.
fast as I possibly could. And I jumped.
Yeah.
Um,
Probably haven't slowed down since.
Not really. The funny story I tell my sons is I was actually playing video games back then. So I was playing this Hulk game that came out with that Ang Lee movie.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
Well, I was playing that. Next morning, got the email about that. That day, I handed it to my oldest son now and was like, here you go. I'm done. Went to the office and yeah, haven't really looked back.
Now, back then, a little bit prior to that, when you were getting into inking, were you informed about like the tools and what you should be looking to use? Or were you, I know back in the day, a lot of us didn't really know, and we were like trying to make Rapidographs work, which do work, but they're kind of finicky. So
They're finicky and they're
what,
flat, and they
yeah.
don't offer a lot of line variations.
What were you
Oh,
using when you were first starting to ink?
I was using Rapidographs.
See,
But I
I
went
th-
to one of my I went to a convention and I met Jimmy Palmiotti and Joe Quesada at the time. And I forget what they were working on, probably Daredevil. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. But I talked with Jimmy and he was like, nope. And he wrote down for me everything I needed.
Nice.
He's like, here you go. Go get this stuff. Come back next year.
That's
And
awesome.
that's what I did. That's what I did. We still talk to this day.
Oh,
But
very cool.
yeah, he was like, you got to get a brush, you got to get a quill, and learn how to use those. And just started running from there. It was his suggestion was a Raphael brush
Yep.
and just a Hunt 102 quill.
Yep. Those are still kind of widely suggested to this day. It's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like there's others, but a lot of people still recommend the Raphael.
There's lots of others. There's lots of variations of quills and brushes to get. But Raphael's, Winsor Newtons are still kind of the standard.
Yeah.
As well as the other one I use, and Dexter Vine uses, he's never stopped using them, is the Scharf brushes. They're a little bit not harder to get. They're a little bit more expensive. They've gotten really expensive over the past few years. But yeah, they still work perfectly.
Now, are those brushes sable or are they synthetic mix? What type of brushes are they?
They're Sable Hair Brush. It's just a totally different company that
Okay.
doesn't get as much recognition as the Raphaels or the Winsor Newtons.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's so many different tools out there. It can be confusing as a beginner getting in. I think now we have more of the information out there, so you can usually, if you look, you can find, what the pros are using. But I remember those days, man. I remember clogging those Rapidographs up, and I remember the little needle-like tip on them getting bent and all the horror stories.
I still use them. I still have them. I still use them. I don't have the thinner ones. I use them mostly for borders and maybe thicker line. But yeah, every once in a while you gotta take them to that sink and clean the crap out of them because you got to take them all the way apart. And some people have told me not to, but I still do it. Take them all the way apart. Got the Q-tips, pipe cleaner, cleaning them out because they still work great.
Yeah, I have a set that's probably about, it's probably about 30 or 40 years old now.
I still have a few. Actually, I was somewhere and someone gave me a whole box full of them because they had literally gone digital.
Yeah.
With whatever, it was a graphics department. They were, or a company, and they were going digital, and they literally like, here you go. And it was a box full of all types and sizes. And it wasn't just Rapidographs, it was the Stead letters too.
Nice.
And they're like, here you go. And I was like, ooh, thank you. And I went home and just commenced soaking them in bleach and water and just cleaning the living crap out of them. But I still have a little bin of them. Some have gone by the wayside, but yeah, they still work really good.
See, I have a feeling we're similar because I got excited when you told me they gave you a box of all that. I'm like a junkie for collecting art supplies, man. Do you have that same issue?
Yes and no. Not as much as I used to, but that box at the time was a big deal because to buy a set of the standard sizes was expensive.
Yeah, they never have gotten cheap.
It was like $100 some bucks for that set of a good working set of Rapidographs. And, those things aren't cheap. And
I remember,
you can't even find them.
I remember even like 25 years ago, they were very expensive.
Yep.
So
they never got cheap.
They never lost it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What field were those originally used in? Was that like an architectural drawing that's what I thought.
They were an architectural tool. That's their first, I think, initial use. But, artists were like, hey, what's this do?
Yeah. Now you briefly mentioned digital because that place was going all digital. Have you dabbled in digital inking? Do you mix it up depending on what project you're working on, or are you strictly all traditional?
No, not all traditional. I mix it up with every project. There's a book I did a few years ago called Hunt, Kill, Repeat. came out through Mad Cave Studios. That one I did all digital.
Okay.
It really comes down to it when I'm picking between digital and traditional, the end product of the art. Like, is anyone really going to care about this original art or not?
Okay.
With Hunt, Kill, Repeat, and it's not a diss to the book at all, because the book was great and I had a blast on it. But you could kind of tell if you're following the art market and original art sales, what's going to sell. And we all know it's Marvel, DC, all the way back to the beginning, art that's going to sell.
Yeah.
Everything else is very dependent on the project. Like Mike Mignola could obviously sell his work for lots. But when you're little old me, it's not going to sell.
Right.
And so I did that one digital, and sure enough, not one person ever has asked for an original page from that book.
So your instincts served you well on it.
Yeah. But the latest project, most of what I do now is really kind of a hybrid. I'll do some digital print from there onto gray lines and then ink the rest traditionally, because I know someone might like to buy it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your process. Are you, like, let's say you're inking somebody else's work. Are they usually giving you like blue line that you're converting their pencils to blue line and printing it out on a new board? Or are you ever still directly inking over somebody's finished pencils?
well, with the latest project I did with James Robinson and Phil Hester, The Adventures of Lumen N, we started off with the first issue. There were covers and a few key pages within that he sent me the original pencils for that I did ink over.
Okay.
After the first issue, we kind of went, I guess you'd call it the digital route, where he sent me the file of pencils and I just kind of ran from there.
Yeah.
So I would do some digital, I'd print it out and finish it traditionally.
Oh yeah, you got some stuff back there. Yeah.
That's
is there anybody you've inked over, their traditional pencils and then, kind of like hesitated before you erased what was left? Like that you're like, oh man, I'm erasing so-and-so's pencils.
I don't think if there is. I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't. I can't, or at least I can't remember any.
I feel like I heard a story about Eric Larson or one of the Image guys when they inked over Kirby's pencils, and then they were like, "Oh no, I don't want to erase Jack's pencons." So I'm just imagining a scenario like that,
Well, there's horror stories about that because, oh crap, his name's escaping me. He was an inker way back then that inked them. He had a very special reputation.
Okay.
Oh, crap, what's his name?
Is it not Sinnott or
Nope.
or Royer or
Nope.
Okay. Those are the two Kirby inkers that popped to the front of my brain.
I had a book in somewhere. His name will come to me when I don't need it.
Yeah.
Vince Coletta. There it is.
There
Vince
you go.
Coletta.
Yeah,
Vince
he
Coletta.
was a controversial. People either love him or hate him.
He would erase entire backgrounds.
Yeah.
He would ink it and then he'd erase entire backgrounds that Jack had drawn and turn the paper and turn the pages in.
Wow.
So, Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah. He has a very special reputation.
Yeah. Special is putting it lightly.
Yeah. Those are the stories I've heard, and it's like,
yeah.
Okay. But back then it was a different time. Like
it was.
they were, I know Joe Sinnott said something one time. He was like, if you're not inking 5 pages a day, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
And most of us nowadays, like 5 pages a day. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Well, and back then it was all about the production, and it was like half the time the art was destroyed after the fact. Like they weren't thinking about original art sales or any of that stuff. Like
it was, how fast can you get it done?
Yeah. Yeah. And then, Jack was like penciling like crazy, and those guys were inking it as quick as they could just to get all those books out. So very different times.
Very, very different. So no, I don't think I don't think I have worked. And the most nervous I got with pencils was maybe Doug Mankey on
Oh
some Green
yeah,
Lantern stuff I did.
Doug's stuff is amazing.
Yeah, and they had hired me and kind of threw me to the wolves with that one because it was Jeff Johns' last Green Lantern issue. It was a giant issue, and the first pages he sent me was this giant, beautiful double page spread, and I didn't erase anything off of it, but I had to Photoshop a lot of stuff later because Alex Sinclair, the colorist on it, was like, "Hey, I need you to fix it." So
Yeah.
I went in digitally and fixed it, but I never did erase the pencils off of it. And there wasn't, I mean, I inked it pretty faithfully, so there wasn't anything to like disappear from his
Right.
pencil. It was all there. But
Yeah.
that might be the only time I was nervous about.
Slight trepidation.
Yeah. I was like, do I or don't I? And the colors, okay, all right.
Do
So,
you
yeah.
do you know my buddy Tom Nguyen?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know.
He inked Doug for a long time. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I just saw him at Heroes last year.
Yeah, he's a good
So,
dude. I love that guy. He's
yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy.
he was amongst my first batch of people I had on the pod, so
Okay.
had to show him that love. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's another guy like you that's been in the game for a very long time.
he's been in it longer than me, but yeah, he's a good guy. I'm glad he's starting to come to Heroes more regularly because it's one of those that he needs to be at because that's his kind of crowd. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, as far as your, so we talked a little bit about your process and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to distill a little bit for the audience that may not be as much of a process junkie as I am, just what the job of an inker is in your own words.
The job of an inker is really to flesh out textures, tones, and lighting from what the penciler has put down.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
And that changes every time I'm asked that question.
Right.
But yeah, texture, tone, and lighting to make sure that it's nice and solid the whole way through.
Yeah. And separating middle, foreground, background.
Middle,
In case
foreground.
the artist hasn't put that information clearly, you have to delineate that, right?
Correct. And you not only separating foreground from background, but making sure compositionally everything works. Because
Yeah.
sometimes things can get muddy and not clear. So an inker is the one that goes in there and makes it all perfectly clear.
Yeah,
So
give it
for the
that
reader.
readability, right? Like
Yep.
it's not confusing to the reader.
Yeah. So take,
No,
for example, like those because I know they're continuing it now, Savage Sword of Conan magazines. You
yep.
remember those from way back
Oh
when?
yeah,
Those
for
were black
sure.
and white, but they had to be inked.
Yeah.
They had to be inked because back then the printing process wouldn't have allowed for pencils. You wouldn't have been able to see anything.
Right.
Nowadays, it's a little different with scanners and digital and all that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just picked up the most recent one that Liam Sharp did.
Yep. Good
That
one.
was phenomenal. Liam
Lee-
is like on another level.
He is. He is. Yeah. I've known him for a long time. He's a good guy and yeah, his work is astounding.
Yeah, he just had that come out like right around the same time that his new Spawn Dark
Yep.
Ages book has been coming out. A couple issues of
Mhm.
that out. Like Liam's like in his renaissance right now. He's just kicking it. Like he's got all this work coming out, and
Yep.
fans of his work like me are just drooling because he always
Mhm.
puts out top notch work. But you could tell like that that Savage Conan had a special place in his heart. He really put a lot into that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's been planning that for most of his life, I think,
Yeah.
about getting to finally do Conan. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing for him. And yeah, he wasn't wasting it. I think he's doing more too. I
I
think he's
hope
got more
so.
coming as well. So, yeah.
I shall be waiting.
Me too. Me too.
Now, going back a little bit more to that inking, what an inker does, can you explain to the audience the difference between a embellishment and a finish? Sometimes people will see that in the credits. They might see somebody credited as an embellisher or a finisher
Mhm.
on the artwork, and that can be confusing for people sometimes.
Well, the best way to describe that is when you're doing embellishments is you're really finishing the drawing.
Okay.
Um, so that's when the penciler has really only laid down story beats with panels and then probably some shapes as far as the figure work goes and perspective. And it's really left to the inker to do the rest. I think the best example I can think of offhand is if you're going to go way back, when like Jerry Ordway was inking George Perez on, say, Crisis.
Oh, yeah.
That's when George was putting in just the basic
I've seen
work
some of
to make
those. Yeah.
and then Jerry comes in and finishes it in Jerry's way, and it turns into this beautiful hybrid of two fantastic artists together. The other great one was there was a anniversary, I want to say issue 600 or 500 of Action Comics, where I think John Byrne laid down the layout and the basic premise, and then George Perez inked over John Byrne.
That's
That
right.
that was magnificent to look at if you were a fan of those guys back then.
Yeah, and I think that was the only time they ever, like, quote unquote collaborated, because they
It
were kind of
probably
had a
was.
little rivalry going.
It probably was. I don't think that was. Yeah, I think that was the only time they ever did anything together. But it was something else
Yeah.
because you had John's dynamic layouts and the way he would do panels, and then figures. Then you have George coming in with his Georgeness,
He's
just
Georginus.
detailedness.
Yeah.
And it was just wonderful to look at. I remember me and my friends that collected comics at the time were just like, look, it's amazing. And they
Yeah.
never did it again.
Yeah. It left us all wanting more.
Yeah. Yeah. But that doesn't happen very often anymore, if at
No.
all, to be quite honest. Yeah.
Well, and
The
a
companies
lot
are not
of,
pairing them like that at all.
yeah, you don't see those duos very often. I mean, you don't see that, like, working off it's kind of like people jamming or something with music.
Yeah.
It's like you don't see that as much anymore in comics.
Nope. You don't see it.
Any theories onto why that is? Is it just production or?
It's probably production. It's probably art sales. It's probably page rates.
Yeah.
And I even dare say it might be some ego.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, that's probably the biggest reason. The biggest reason.
Yeah.
But there's lots of I could put pairs together and be like, I wonder what that would look like.
Mm-hmm.
Or I wonder what that would look like. But then, like we said, you're talking about production, and
Yeah.
they do not have the production time that they used to have anymore.
Yeah.
Now everybody is like, get it done, get it out. And so-and-so's too slow. And yeah, production.
That's the inside baseball, the production side of things.
We'll just umbrella that with production.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, it's no secret that you and I share a lot of the same passions. I mean, just judging by the background, you got the Millennium Falcon back there. You got Optimus Prime. You got Hulk. You got tons of Star Wars stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you got a
That's the Transformer show.
Yeah.
And
You got a friggin' G.I. Joe tattoo on your arm.
A little bit, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. See that?
Yeah. I've been putting that on my arm since it came out.
Nice.
Because G.I. Joe number 21 came out, I would get a red marker and put it on my arm, and my mom would always get mad. She'd be like, "You're gonna get ink poisoning." You're like, "No, I'm not."
You're like, worth it.
Yeah.
So you
There's
were in
about 7 Hulk statues. There's a Darth Vader.
Yep.
Yeah, big giant prime there. There's a couple primes up there, and then some bad guys up there. So yeah.
Still have any of your G1 Transformers, the original toys? Oh, see, I knew it. Just within arm's reach.
Yeah.
There you
This
go.
guy.
Yep.
Because I found him at my dad's house a couple years ago, and I was like, "Give me that."
That's awesome.
He's about the only one left. I didn't have much when I was a kid. I didn't even have a prime, but
I have my prime, but his trailer is pretty messed up from actually playing with him. Megatron's pretty busted up from turning him into a gun, and his barrel doesn't really work anymore. But we played with our stuff back then.
Yeah, but those plastics back then were not built to last.
No.
Those plastics really deteriorated over time.
Yeah.
Because my friend down the road, Drew Moss, he actually has an original Skyfire.
Okay.
Which looked just like a Robotech Macross Veritech fighter.
Yeah.
I know there's right issues and there's a story there, but he has an original jet fighter. He's got it on his shelf. I think it's in robot mode. Never touch it because it'll just fall apart.
I sold mine. I had that one too, and I sold it and a few others when the first live action movie came out.
Oh, okay.
The market was like that, and I hopped on eBay and got a pretty crazy amount of money for a few of them. And I kind of regret it though. I wish I would have held on to them even longer. I still have my Prime, my Megatron, Soundwave.
Okay. All the important.
Some of them. Yeah, most of the important ones. I sold Metroplex. Yeah.
Have you seen that new one?
Yeah.
Have you seen that new? It's like this
crazy.
Big?
Yeah. The ones that get me are the ones you can tell them to transform.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, if I could probably really not have to try too hard to convince myself to justify that purchase, other than the fact that they're crazy expensive.
I saw a Prime. There's a store here locally that has one, and he has them for like $600.
Yep. And you can do custom. You can do custom commands and things too. I believe it's it's very tempting.
Yeah, and I think the Soundwave just came out.
Yep, I saw the Soundwave one.
It's funny that the Jordan guy on TikTok that
I was just going to mention him. Yep.
Yeah, he's got all of them.
Yeah,
but I also know he probably didn't pay for one of them.
No, I'm sure they
probably
sent
them to him, and yeah. That's not fair.
Do you know, very much a side tangent, but did you hear a little bit about how he got going with the social media and everything?
No.
He was actually on his way to be in Major League Baseball. He was
really?
very good baseball player, and then the pandemic hit, so he was like right on the verge of going into the MLB, and then the pandemic hit and everything got messed up, and then he ended up taken off on social media out of probably boredom, and look where he's at now.
Yeah, he really did take off.
Yeah, he pivoted.
I actually have he's not fully finished. I actually have a very fancy Predaking.
Oh, nice.
Here that I still have the other half to build, but he's enormous.
Yeah, I bet. Now, so Transformers, assuming you loved the cartoon, and we're into the cartoon like myself, and then Star Wars, for our generation, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's the top tier stuff right there.
You an original trilogy guy?
Oh yeah. I've come around to liking the prequels only because there's 7 seasons of Clone Wars to watch that really fill that gap.
Exact same reason. It makes it all way more enjoyable, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. But I am one of those that is on. I really hate the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because I find myself conflicted because on one hand I think it's cool that we have more Star Wars, but on the other hand I'm so much like I feel like I know how Star Wars should be done right.
Yeah.
And we all have such strong like feelings about that. So I think like they could do something great and it would still be hard to take because it's different or it's new.
Yeah. But I
Um,
do love Mandalorian.
Mandalorian was
Has
great, and
been
Rogue
really good.
One. I really enjoyed
Yep.
Rogue One.
Rogue One,
Yeah.
Ahsoka. I mean, we're
Yep.
getting a season 2 of that here sometime, but yeah, there's been good stuff since the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sequel trilogy is not good. No, I don't watch that anymore.
I think we might be in for some good times because I heard Filoni's going to kind of be taken over and Kathleen Kennedy's stepping down. So that we might be in. I think Filoni does
I
some
saw
good
that.
things. Yeah, he knows George's original vision pretty inside and out. So
Yeah, yeah, he does. I saw that too. I don't know if it's confirmed, but we're like, okay, okay, let's see what happens.
yeah,
We'll go
yeah.
from there.
But he also greenlit some of the stuff that wasn't great. So now I'm like, oh no, maybe he's infected.
Yeah, yeah. Not everything is going to be great.
Yeah.
I know that much, but a lot of it I have enjoyed a
Yeah.
great deal. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, pivoting back to comics, what are some notable things that you've worked on as an inker in your career? I know one of them is a Star Wars book you had the opportunity to work on. That had to be pretty dang cool as a Star Wars fan.
It was. I got to work on Star Wars Dr. Aphra for roughly 15 issues worth.
That's a good run.
Yeah, we would do like 3 or 4 issues, and we'd get a break, and we'd do 4 more, and then a break and 4 more. But it totaled out to like 15 issues. When I first got it, I treated it just like I did every other job. But it was after I did the first issue where they told me that I was now the regular anchor. I was like, oh. And
then it kind of hit you.
And I was like, oh, okay. It didn't hit me then. When it hit me was as I would get the scripts from Kieran Gillen, who was fantastic. One of the first guys I actually sat down and read the scripts for. And then it was, I think, the first issue that Darth Vader appeared.
Nice.
And I went kind of ballistic.
I bet.
Because I was like, oh, I get to do Vader. Oh, this is going to be so good.
Yeah.
And there was more Vader as we went. So it was even more fun. Because every time Vader got shown, I was like, oh, thank you. And I do have a favorite page, one that I wish I hadn't sold to Lucasfilm, but I did. But, you know, I have the digital version, so I can post that wherever I want. But
True.
Yeah. So Dr. Aphra was working on that book was so much fun. It was a highlighted career so far. And I've worked on a lot of other things. Every chance I got to work on Immortal Hulk, I was super happy. I wish I could have done more of that.
Bennett, right? Joe Bennett.
Yeah. Over
awesome
Joe.
Artist. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I showed you last time I had you on those penciled ones that that guy in Brazil made for me. Yeah, these things awesome. Are insane, dude.
Yeah.
Just all his original stuff.
All the pencils, yeah.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
So cool.
That was a lot of fun. The other highlight was way back when, and very little people have read it. It's called The Adventures of Miranda Mercury with Brandon Thomas and Lee Ferguson. We had a blast on that. We did not make one dime from it yet, but had a blast on that. Dr. Aphra, and the latest thing I put up there is actually The Adventures of Lumen with Phil Hester.
Very cool.
James Robinson writing, absolutely fantastic. I'm really hoping we get to do more because there's a whole bunch more to the story that James laid out for me, and can't wait to get to it because the first 4 issues were just an absolute blast to work on.
Now, as an inker, you have the benefit of just getting to see so many different styles of art and work over a lot of different artists. Do you have a preference as far as the pencils you're presented with? Do you prefer somebody that pencils tight? Do you prefer somebody that leaves it a little looser and gives you a little more room for interpretation? Or for you, is it just like whatever? I take what I'm given and I do my best to make it great.
It's probably that last bit. I take
Yeah.
whatever coming. One thing I noticed was on the Adventures of Lumen, there were points where sorry, Phil would send really tight pencils. All his pencils are pretty tight.
Okay.
But I did notice as we were going along that some things would get skipped or okay, Mark will fix it.
Yeah.
And I caught all of them, but that was fun.
Well, that's cool too to know
Yeah,
that he has the confidence in you that he knows he can do that.
yeah, and that's the kind of thing that only comes with a little bit of time. And this is the first time I've ever worked with Phil, but I do know it takes 4 issues for a pencil or inker team to really come into what they're going to be.
Okay.
Kelly Jones told me that some years ago. He's like, yeah, 4 issues. By the 4th issue, that pencil or inker team is starting to cook, and they're only going to get better after that. And I was like, oh yeah, he's absolutely right. So I've always been given, to be honest, pretty tight pencils.
Okay.
Not, and nobody really embellishes anymore. Everyone's putting out tight pencils nowadays. Those that still do it, they're
Right.
it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller as we go. But yeah,
Are you finding a lot more people are working digitally these days? Are you getting a lot of digital pencils to work over? Or is it 50
uh,
50? Like what I know so many artists now are inking their own work too and doing like a solely digital workflow, and, from start to finish. So I'm
some
curious
people
how
are.
that's kind of changed things for you as an inker. I mean, what
Well,
does it look like when you get a pencil, a completely digitally penciled piece? Can you recognize the differences, or is it similar to a traditional piece?
not usually. The pencilers that I usually work with now, they're actually traditional, so they keep their pencils.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, they keep their pencils, but I'm also in a different phase than 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 that. I'm not out there hunting for work anymore,
Right.
um, because I'm doing this.
Yes.
Um, and the Adventures of Lumen was brought to me, and I couldn't resist. I was like, absolutely. But they
Yeah.
also made me co-owner,
Oh,
so it's a much
wow.
yeah. So it was a very different project than just a work for hire thing. It was not a
Yeah.
work for hire thing. It was your co-owner. Here's your rate, and you know go from there.
That's
So
amazing.
I absolutely jumped on.
How did that
Um,
opportunity come to be for you?
luck,
Yeah.
absolute luck.
Right
Um,
place at the right time.
yeah, basically. I mean, to me, it's a funny story. I don't know if it'll be to anybody else, but I got to know Phil via Twitter.
Okay.
Um, he posted some things. I remember I grabbed one thing that he had posted. I inked it up for just for fun, and I sent it to him. I was like, "What do you think? You like it?" And he's like, "How do you have time to do stuff for fun?" And I was like, I have nothing but time. Those people don't call me.
Right,
I'm,
right.
I I'm playing right now, and I was in the process of working on Flipside.
Yeah.
But and then a couple months later, he was like, "Hey, do you want to try out for something?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I did, tried out. I didn't get it. I lost to Klaus Janson.
Oh, well, I mean, that's just,
I was like,
a minor league guy that you lost out to.
yeah, I was like, I'm good with that. That's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. And then some months go by, and Phil hits me up again. He's like, hey, I know I have no right to ask, but you want to try out for something else? And I was like, sure. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And he sent me 2 things. One of them actually happened to be a Lumen piece. I just didn't know who it was.
Right.
And I did 2 pieces for him, sent them back to him. I can tell you without a shadow of doubt, I thought nothing else of it. So here you go. Whatever happens, what happened. And then a couple weeks later, there's the email. Hey, James Robinson and he said James Robinson. I was like, whoa.
Wow. Yeah.
Feel that you'd be a good fit for this. And he gave me a couple sentences synopsis of what it was. And I was like, okay, I like it. Yes, I'm in. And they proceeded to get everything set up with Dark Horse and we were running from there. But it was not 25, it was 2024's Heroes Con. James was there and he came up and we talked and he laid out the whole story, which is a multi-year project, and told me where the story was going, what he was doing and everything. And I said, absolutely, absolutely. Yes. Sign me up. I'm the one.
Yeah.
I will do this. He's like, are you sure it's going to be many years? I'm like, yes, I'm absolutely sure.
Nice. Now, did you have any inkling that they would be wanting to bring you in as owning part of it?
They said it in the very beginning. Beginning.
Wow.
It's like, and you're co-owner as well if it goes anywhere else, like the movies or TV or anything like that.
That's amazing, man.
You get
part of an IP. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was another reason why I signed. I was like, yes, absolutely, I will do this.
Yeah.
And we wrapped issue 4 on that, I think last summer. But I'm not the inker that's out there bugging Marvel and DC for work anymore.
No.
Between that and then Flipside, and I'm doing a whole lot of writing on my own, and whatever comes with Lumen in the coming years, that's the only thing I'm working at. So what pencilers are turning in and what's going on in the regular process of, let's say, mainstream comics, I pay attention to. I watch all the news reports and the social media and all that, and I see what people are working on and what's going on. But I'm not in that.
You're not in the loop.
You're
not in the loop. You're not in that.
Yeah. This is coming in. I'm getting this work. I'm doing this. I'm not doing that anymore because I'm tired.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect segue, because for a guy that's tired, you started your own company, Flipside.
Yep.
And we got to save the best for last here of the podcast, man. Let's talk about Flipside and how all that got started, and what you've got going there and what people should be looking out for. First of all, I really love the shirt. 100% hustle, 0% luck. Flipside Comics. Yeah.
Yep. It's all about the work. I've got another one that just says do the work.
There you go.
I've got a TikTok shop with t-shirts, and I've got a shop right off the website with shirts and stuff you can buy.
Well, my wife's going to hate me for getting another comic book shirt and filling our closet, but I'm going to go on there and get one from you.
There's funny ones up there too with meme-like sayings.
Yeah.
And the latest one I just put up there, it says, I identify as wealthy.
There you go.
And there's plenty of other ones up there too, but no,
nice.
A friend of mine and I, this was like just post COVID, which is a terrible year for everybody and comics in general too.
Definitely.
And I had just kind of had enough. And so I just decided, like, I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm just going to figure out something else to do that's comic related. And sorry, that's my dog.
You're all good.
Being ridiculous.
I'm a huge animal lover, so it's all good, man.
Yeah. And I just had enough. And me and a friend of mine and I, and we brought in another friend of mine, Lee Ferguson, as partner as well. The other guy, comics folks won't know him. His name is Lawrence Christmas. He was a graphic designer and a commercial artist, and that's what he did his whole life. But huge comic guy, loved it, just knew he couldn't make the kind of money he wanted to make at it.
Yeah.
And we got together and we're just like, we're going to do this. And took a little bit to come up with the name Flipside, because we went through a bunch of different ones. And right now, Flipside is a website. It is www.ontheflipsidecomics.com. We've got some free domain comics up there, which are comics that were produced back in the 30s and 40s that are now owned. They don't have an ownership anymore. So we curated like 6 of those that we post up there. And then any and all creator owned projects that we're going to work on, we're putting up there for people to read. And the basis is basically you're going to get like a page a week, depending on the book. Some other books might run faster. Page a week. And when it finishes running on the website as it's, serialization, as if it's coming out, then we'll collect it in whatever ways we want via some print on demand companies, and it'll be available on Amazon and the Lulu bookstore.
Cool.
So
now I'm going to sidetrack you. I'm going to derail you just for 1 second, because when you mentioned having some public domain properties on there, it brought to my mind the fact that Superman and Batman are both coming up for some public domain.
Those are good. Those are going to happen in the 2030s, I believe. Actually, I think the first big one that's going to be public domain is in 2028 when Conan goes public domain.
And just so the listeners and viewers are aware, that means basically you're very restricted as to how you can use the characters. Like Superman can't do the same things that Superman can do now in the comics. He can only do what he could originally do in his first appearances and that type of stuff. And
it's going to be, so, when did Superman first appear? What was that, 36, 39?
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah. So what it'll be when it goes free domain, it'll be that first year's worth of comics. So whatever happened to Superman in that first year of Action Comics, anybody can play with that version of Superman.
Yeah, he can jump. He can jump over a building, and
correct. There probably won't be any Lex Luthor or Kryptonite yet.
Right.
So
all that to say, are you gonna mess around with it? Are you gonna put anything on your site in that regard, or do a little story? I mean, you've been writing, man.
Yeah, I don't have any intention of messing with those.
Okay.
Conan, very likely.
That would
Superman,
be tempting.
Batman, Wonder Woman, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Just because of how would tempt fate with Warner Brothers.
True.
Or whoever ends up owning 50 pieces.
Yeah.
But Conan, I would mess with. The superheroes I wouldn't. Because was it Popeye and Tintin just went free domain, but that was the very beginning of 25, and again, it's the first year.
Right.
So like Popeye the Sailor Man doesn't look like Popeye yet.
No.
That first year of comic strips is very different from what it evolved into.
Yeah.
Same with Tintin. It looks very different from what it became later.
Right.
So the only ones that are free domain is just that first year of comics, which are they're hard to recognize. They're hard to recognize. You see them and you're like, really? And it's like, it evolved into something different.
Not the characters we're familiar with these days, for sure.
Correct.
So Flipside, we got the website, we got the comics that come out there. There's some free stuff that people can read. You also have music on there, which I thought was really cool.
Yes, we have a radio station. I spent 2 months in 24 programming the whole radio station. It plays right now. It's played right now. Today's Saturday. Today we're recording on a Saturday. That means it is soundtrack day.
Nice.
So it's nothing but soundtrack music, to include pop music, orchestral scores, Star Wars music, all that. It's all in there. Tomorrow on Sunday is 80s day. So it's all 80s, music.
So it's great stuff to have on in the background while you work, while we're
While you
drawing,
work,
while we're
while you're
creating.
reading. Yep. Yep. That's what it's designed for, is that feeling you had as a kid when you would plop down in front of the radio with a pile of comics and just start reading comics while music played.
That's so cool. Now
Yeah.
you said you've been doing quite a bit of writing.
Yeah.
What are
Yeah.
you working on right now that you're able to talk about?
Some stuff because you'll see sliders on the website for the first one is Dauntless Incorporated. That's going to be with Lee Ferguson. What else was up there? Shinzu is one Lawrence was going to draw, but he's not now. To move on from that.
Okay.
But Dauntless is probably the first one we
Nice.
can talk about. Yeah.
So what was that transition like have you always dabbled in writing, even prior to inking?
Yeah. Even prior to breaking in, I did a little bit of writing just to kind of try and get in somewhere. There are things out there. People bring them up to me every once in a while because they went and dug for it. That were stuff that I wrote and inked and lettered too. So,
oh wow,
they bring it up, and I have to take their name and address so I can have them taken out. But no,
you say do not show this to anybody.
Yeah, do not show this to anybody. So yeah, I've always dabbled. I've always dabbled. So it wasn't a big like transition for me. It's just a matter of, okay, well, I'm going to do this now. Let me develop that now. And
where does more of your passion lie?
In getting those books done and out to the publisher.
Okay.
Getting them, going to convention and having, a thing of different types of books for people to check out. That's where it's at.
So you don't care whether it's done via inking, writing, just the overall getting that finished thing out for people to consume and enjoy.
Yep. That's where it is. Getting those books out and then really just doing as many different kind of things as possible.
Yeah.
The American market is it's nothing but superheroes. In the mainstream comics world. Now, I think that's changing along with Kickstarter and Webtoons and a bunch of other things. And all the other publishers are doing some really cool stuff that are not superheroes. Boom's doing great stuff. Image is doing crazy stuff too.
For sure.
So it's about doing a lot of different things other than superheroes all the time.
Yeah.
They're fun. I've had a lot of fun with them, but I'm ready to do more. Basically.
Well, as we start to wrap up here, I thought it would be cool to just what advice would you have for a beginner, somebody that's looking to eventually break into comics, whatever medium they're going to break in, whether they want to be a penciler, inker, colorist, whatever, like. In these modern times of social media and having more accessibility to creators and things, like if you had to do it over again in these modern times, how would you approach breaking in? What would your advice be to somebody of how to approach that with the tools we have at our disposal these days?
I'd kind of do it the way I'm doing it. And I'd also do it the way that a lot of people are actually doing now, which is they're taking to social media. I've been noticing in the past few months, just because I'm on TikTok and for Flipside and more Instagram Reels is the amount of things that people are doing all on their own, and they're just kind of doing it.
Yeah. Lots of direct to consumer stuff happening these days.
There's a lot of that going on, and it's kind of nice to see. And most people are not, at least the ones that I talk to, that I see at the limited number of conventions I go to, they are not worried about Marvel and DC. They're not so worried about breaking into the industry, because I think the message getting out there is basically, if you want to break in, go make a comic. Well,
Yeah.
they're doing that. Um, they're out there doing it, and they're
Well,
making comics and they're putting them out their own way. So it's
and what better portfolio piece to have than actual proof that you are able to create a comic?
exactly.
Right.
It's a proof of concept. Just look, I did it already. Here you
Yeah.
go. Everybody's at different levels. I'm not going to worry about judging any of those levels because that's not for me to do. And I don't want to, but you know, everybody's at a different place and they're trying to do what they want to do, what their passion brings them. And, it's really heartening to see these folks
Yeah.
just like, oh no, I'm just going to do this.
Just going to do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
listen, Mark, as we wrap up here, why don't you let everybody know about any upcoming projects that you're able to make them aware of, and let them know where the best places are to follow you on social media, as well as getting to that Flipside website to check out all the cool stuff you're doing there.
Well, the first one is, on the flipsidecomics.com. I'm on every social media platform. If you want to find me, trust me, I'm there. Facebook, Twitter, Image, TikTok, Instagram, all of them. I'm on all of them.
Nice.
And Flipside is as well. So I'm trying to, run a dual campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah.
My website is coming along. Just made a big jump through it this morning. So that my website is called, inkingissexy.com.
Oh, I love it. There you go.
There's a holding page up there right now, but I should be done with it here in the next few weeks.
I think
I'm
probably
tweaking pages.
most likely by the time this episode is published, you'll probably have it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Projects had the latest one to come out was the Adventures of Lumen N. You can get it from Dark Horse Comics. Just go to their website. And every local comic store or every LCS I know of carried it. It was out there.
Awesome.
And hopefully look for more of those in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's about it right now.
Awesome,
that's a full
Mark.
plate.
I believe
Nice
the
full
third
plate.
time recording was a charm, buddy.
Good.
We still got to
Glad
hit
it
that
was.
stop. We still got to hit the stop button and make sure the upload's complete. So I'm
Yep.
going to knock on wood right now, but I really appreciate you being so patient as to come on multiple times. And
Hey, no, it's a good time.
I've enjoyed chatting with you every time, even if other people didn't get to listen to the other ones. I might just publish a edited audio version of those ones in the future.
How
So
bad
people,
it is. Like, look how bad it is. Here we go.
we hear how the
Like,
conversation changed over the different iterations.
yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I hope to have you on again in the future as well.
Hope so too. Anytime. Be
All right,
fun.
buddy. Well, hang out with me for a moment here. Everybody listening, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, share with a friend if you're enjoying all the awesome guests I'm having on. It would be greatly appreciated. Currently working on redesigning the Patreon. So if you want to head over to patreon.com/nerdymusings, there will be some cool stuff happening there in the future. And in the meantime, everybody, keep it nerdy.